so far in this video series, we have created 5 of the 6 shapes, right? We have our tube that we crawl through. We have our seesaw or teeter-totter. And we have our balance beam. We made a swing set, and we used our rotate tool to get one of the swings looking like it's rotating. We spent 3 videos with this tower set, right? So the first video had the 2 towers and the bridge between. The second of those videos had a ramp for wheelchair access, and our other video had a ladder. Something we've not done for a while is clean up our layers. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Yeah, there's a bunch here. So I should have been doing this all along. If we scroll, we can remember, look, we had someplace in here. I thought we had some folders that had the first 2 shapes. Maybe I redid something at some point. You know what? I'm not going to take time for that right now. We can deal with that later. Oh, I see. Sorry. All of those got built inside the beam folder. I must have been in the beam and then not gotten out of the beam. So that's kind of messy. I'm not going to deal with that right now. We can clean that up later. Okay, let's just finish. So we need to build that spiral slide, right? This is actually a pretty easy one. It looks impressive, but it's pretty easy. We're going to get on our, any side view is fine. I'll do back this time. It really doesn't matter. And I'm going to begin by just drawing the profile of the side of the slide, right? And for that, I'm going to do a couple rectangles and then use my trim tool. So I'll begin by just drawing a rectangle, something like that. And then I'm going to do another rectangle that's kind of like this, right? So it looks like that-ish, okay? And you can probably see what your scissors are going to do. They're just going to take away that top bit right there. Okay, so that looks good. That's really all we have to do there. If we're going to do the revolve tool, we need an axis, all right? That prime meridian deal. So we're going to use our line tool, and we're just going to draw a line of axis. Now, if you draw it really close, you're going to get a really, really tight spiral. If you draw it farther away, you'll have a little bit more breathing room in your spiral. You can kind of play with that and decide. By the way, if you draw it like this, you're going to get a spiral that leans, kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? So I'm just going to go for a vertical one that's not too close. All right. Now we need our revolve tool. That's the letter V on your keyboard, or you can just search for it, R-E-V, right? First click is the face, so we'll tap that. Second click is the axis, we'll tap that. And right, we're not going to hit this checkbox yet. Hold on just a little bit. We can see if we peek at it, we basically got a disc kind of shape. But we do have this up-down arrow, and if we start to stretch that, our disc pulls apart. We like that. Let's pull it apart. And let's pull it apart with some height to it. We also have this 360 degree with a dotted circle. If we grab that little white arrow there, right, we can start spinning on that circle and adding coils. The reason we wanted to do that profile, right, was so we would have these edges to keep us from sliding off. Okay. So yeah, actually, that looks pretty good. There's not a whole lot more to do here, except maybe do some scaling. So I'm going to call this one done. And I'm going to actually, I think, make my slide come off of this face of the tower over here. All right, I'm going to try my align tool here and just see what I can get it to do. I want to align. Let's try this. Make this go away. There we go. I want to align this edge, right? That top edge of the slide. I want to align it with this. Whoa, come back here. There we go. With this top edge of the tower. Let's see. I'm noticing I do not have a line as an option over here. This may not work. So let's type AL, let's tap a line. Yeah, it did not like that for some reason. That's okay. We'll just try to do it by hand. So we'll get that whole thing selected and we'll start moving it into position. Okay, it's probably just as fast. And now I probably need to spin it. Oops, spin it a little bit. Kind of get it lined up. Oop, not quite tall enough, right? So remember, we can do scale, right? And remember, you've got two kinds of scales. You've got uniform and non-uniform. If you do uniform scale, then everything changes at once, right? It gets taller and bigger, just like that. And if you do non-uniform scale, you can stretch just the height. Or you can tap just the thickness. Wow, wow. Mrs. Swanigan wanted that sound effect, by the way. Looks like I'm a little bit too tall. Let's see how we did here. Bring that in. No, not a copy. There we go. Yeah, the height is pretty good. But look at this. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna be a headache waiting to happen, right? That is not healthy. So let's do something here. Let's bring this out a bit. Now we probably need to create a connection between those two. I'm gonna try. This is gonna get a little tricky because I've got my tower in the way. Let's see if we can't just draw on this face a rectangle and bring it over to the slide. Should we try that? So something like, I'm just guessing here, right? Something kind of like that. Oh, this might work. Oh yeah, that was a pretty good guess, actually. That's actually, yeah, I'm happy with that. You could, if you needed to, make it thicker, right? Wider, whatever. But mine turned out okay. And let's see how we did down here. Ooh, something. Isn't that interesting? Let's back up a little bit. When did that happen? Why did that happen? Now I'm very curious. All right, let's try drawing this again. Maybe when I did that double click thing a little bit ago, maybe somehow I lopped off part of the, I just did it again. Yeah, we seem okay this time. Yeah, I honestly don't know what happened there, but I'm glad I saw it. Okay, that looks better. And, your bridge might, your slide may end up being a little bit below ground. I think mine is, but that's okay. I'll just get a shovel and dig out some dirt there. Okay, hey, all that's left for me to do, right, is to add some new colors to these things. So let's start with my slide. I'm not going to make you watch all this, right? So I get that selected. I'm going to go up here to my visualization cube and choose visualization. And there we go. There's some materials. Let's see what other materials we have. Oh, yeah, let's see. My slide should be looking... Ooh, I like gold. Okay. Polished gold. That sounds slippery. So let's see if we can't... Yep, we just tap that, and that shows up on there. And while we're at it... Oh, that'll be interesting. So because I drew that rectangle on to make that bridge, it's doing that whole piece up there. Let's see if we can make that galvanized steel. Nope, that did the whole bridge. So you have to be careful here. I did like that polished gold. So let's go back to that. And then back to modeling for a second. So that did that whole thing in gold. And you may end up with that, right? Just because some pieces are attached, but you can also work around it. I'm not going to make you watch me. I'll just do one more. Let's do... Okay, looks like that's going to take care of the bridge. Let's try it. We'll just watch one more here. So again, visualization, change. Let's pick something with some color to it. Clearly I'm not as good at this as you guys are. We'll just do glazed terracotta. That's a bad idea, but drag it over there. So you get the idea. So that's what I have to do is get all of my shapes with their own, all my pieces of equipment with their own. And then I would definitely jump back into here and turn off, remember I did all mine in beam, turn off all of your planes. They're just, they're distracting, right? We don't need to see all of those. So anything that says sketch plane, I would jump in here and hit the eyeball and just make them be invisible for right now. I think it'll make the whole thing look cleaner. Yeah, I like how that's looking. All right, to turn this in, I think I'll just make a separate video for that.